Just like that, the fancy intro ends, and we have a show. What's going on there, Chris Machete? Welcome,
hey, buddy.
To our buddy Scott here. How you doing, man? It is the Kids on the Escalator podcast for a Tuesday night. This is regular Scott.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
We're doing all right, man. We're doing all right.
Thanks for coming on, pal.
We're hanging out.
Thank you for having me.
Chilling out. You got yourself a fancy podcast called Take a Knee from Marvel versus DC. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's great.
No,
it's
ahead.
a cool
I'm sorry,
little,
you were giving me a great intro and I cut you off. What am I doing? Please continue.
Yeah, that's all right. But that's it. You're taking knee for Marvel versus versus DC, and of course, tonight's topic is Marvel versus DC tonight. So
you're the perfect guest. Perfect
guest for this thing, man. Anyways, welcome to the show, Scott. Tell us all about you, man. What's going on, buddy?
I appreciate it, man. This is your boy, regular Scott. I'm from the Take a Knee from Marvel vs. DC podcast. And over there, we just like to give our perspective. We are a couple blurs, me and myself and my co-host, the Uncle Oz. He's also on the Take a Knee podcast. And a couple black nerds just giving our perspective on things. And everybody's got a different outlook, a different perspective on things. And we just like to give ours. These are conversations we had on our own. And we figure, why not let the world in on the questions that we have, the ridiculousness that goes on. So check us out on Twitter, Knee for Marvel vs. DC. And I'm really excited. Again, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. We're always happy to nerds unite, as Chris and I say often, to get going. So we have this Kids on the Escalator podcast. We cover, music and comics and wrestling and movies and tons of different things on this thing on a weekly basis on the Dean Blundell Network. And we always like to bring our nerd friends along with us for the ride, anyone that shares our space. And we welcome you to the show. So thanks, buddy. Appreciate you coming on. So Chris Machete.
Yes. So let's get
comic book.
It almost sounded like you beeped out, called me a comic book burnt. Oh, we lost you, Brent. You're out there for a second. I don't hear you. Brent, you still there?
I am. I had a little tech issue. Go ahead again.
Okay, then we're back. Okay, great. Sorry. Okay, so here's going back to the beginning, because I'm an old dude. I've been collecting comics for a long, long time. Let's take a look way back in the day. So we've got the Action Comics #1, April 18th, 1938. The first appearance of Superman. There it is, right there. Right now, this is actually the most valuable comic ever. An 8.5 went for 3.25 million. And, that was slabbed as well, but it was an 8.5. So that is basically the beginning of DC's superhero charge right there. And if we go to Marvel, Marvel Comics #1 came out October 1939. And that was Human Torch and Submariner were in that one. The one that we're seeing on the screen here is Amazing Fantasy #15. Because it is kind of the one that would run against Action Comics #1. Some would say Fantastic Four #1, but for price and value, you would go for Amazing Fantasy #15, which is the first appearance of our good friend Spider-Man, and and Peter Parker and many others in there. And that is going. You can get that's like a 1.1 million. So if we were going off of what the most expensive comic book would be, DC would win that right off the bat. Like if we were keeping score here, as far as the most classic comic and value wise, Superman, the first Superman Action Comics wins, and it's the most expensive comic, ever.
Well, naturally, and I'm a DC guy, so that makes me very, very happy. What about you, Scott?
Yeah,
are you DC or Marvel?
DC seems to kind of have that pull on people. Even now, people are clamoring. There's a good percentage of people clamoring for like a Batman movie or a good Superman movie, or however you want to break it down. Like people are excited for the Aquaman sequel. There's an excitement level, and we're going to keep giving you opportunities because we know you're going to get one right. We know you're going to knock one out of the park. You're going to give us another Dark Knight here soon. So I just think there's something about DC that people are just consistently drawn to. And Marvel obviously has it because, the fan base they have. But look at what they had to build that off of 10 years of good faith. And now they've got the good faith. But DC has kind of this, we're going to keep giving you chances, kind of pull with the people.
Yeah, we're running out of chances though. I'm a DC guy and I'm waiting for them to get it right. The Dark Knight was the only one they got right. So I don't know. I didn't mind Man of Steel either. Go ahead, Chris.
We'll hit the movies here in a bit. Just Scott, do you read comic books at all as well?
I do. I like to read Nightwing. Dick Grayson's been probably my favorite character since I was a kid. I grew up with him. Nice. I feel like I grew up with him at least. You know, my uncle got me started with him in the Robins, and then I kind of moved up with him in the Dick Graysons and the different kind of iterations, 52, Rebirth, and all that. So he's always a favorite. I kind of dived into the Green Arrow a little bit. It didn't keep my interest like I wanted. Marvel-wise, I don't really do any kind of weekly readings. I'm more will pick up a graphic novel if I hear it's good, like the latest X-Men X of Sword. That one is one I've picked up and read. But Marvel's not one that I really keep up with weekly. And I don't know if that's just because I was brought up on DC, but DC is kind of more what I do weekly.
Right. And the number one, like the biggest selling comic nowadays, new-wise, is Detective Comics, which is DC as well. So they're actually, like, comic-wise, they're doing well. They've done well. And it depends what, I guess they get more of the adult readers too, I would think, DC Comics does. But as far as like back issues and stuff, is the series Hush that Jim Lee did was fantastic. Sadly, the cartoon was horrible that they did. Really bad. I can't remember if it was on Netflix or I saw it on Prime Video. But the cartoon version of Hush was terrible, which it doesn't usually happen. DC's cartoon movies and TV shows are usually really well done, but this one wasn't. But do you have a favorite DC storyline, Scott?
So one that always sticks out to me is the Battle of the Cow. That one always, because it's really when Dick Grayson takes his rightful place. At least I thought where he should have stayed for a while as Batman. So. Right. That one always sticks out as an early favorite.
Nice. And Brent, I know Brent likes The Death in the Family, right? Correct?
Yeah, I've been a big proponent of that series. I mean, I just think it's so perfectly well written, and it was such a, someone have a comment on, there was no death before, like the Death Robin was kind of like this big, it was such a massive moment, and I just, they captured it so well. The race for like which print you got. I think I have the green cover, but there was I think the red one was the first print. There was just like all of this rush. Everyone was talking about the death of Robin. And I always love revisiting it. Now, of course, Chris has turned me on to the boys as far as graphic novel stuff. And my little guy loves Captain America. And there's a new graphic novel series on Captain America right now that he's reading. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So what is it old? Is it like a bunch of, the issues put together in a graphic novel?
They basically took this story that's apparently takes place, I want to say before the Avengers, but it's pretty cool. It's I found it down at the comic place down in Vancouver. It was really awesome. So they made an X-Men one and a Wolverine story as well that they packed into it. I wish I had it with me. I forgot to bring it with me today, but yeah, it's a pretty cool series. Alex is loving it. So
nice. Well, the Death in the Family one was done really well in the cartoon and the movie genre that DC did. That scene where the Joker's just hitting Jason Todd over and over again, man, it's just wow. And they basically redid it to a T there.
Yeah. Well, there's an animated one. Was that the one that's on Netflix?
What's that?
Is that the one that's on Netflix? As far as there's a Netflix one right now that's Death in the Family that you have to buy. I think,
that could be it.
Not Netflix. Sorry, on demand. Sorry, Scott, you're saying you can't hear right now? I think Scott's having a bit of a tech issue there.
Okay.
But just hit your settings again, buddy. Reassign, and you should be good to go. But the Death in the Family is on purchase right now on demand. I think, but it's like $17.
Oh my gosh! It was the Red Hood I watched, but it had that in there. And it was really good though, like really good. Some of those DC cartoons are amazing. I saw a Batman Samurai one too. I believe it was really decent.
DC.
They changed up the animation.
We got you. Yeah,
there you are, buddy.
It's almost like the anime one. Yeah, that's a real good one. Man, the kind of in-game one they did, Apocalypse War, is real good. That's a good one to kind of throw a loop for everybody. But then it has the cop-out finish with the Flash, so that's always an easy. We can fix anything. We can pretty much do whatever we want. They've always had that in their back pocket, so they use that pretty well.
That's true,
yeah,
right?
the Batman ones they all have a lot one. The Killing Joke is terrible because Batman and Barbara Gordon have sex with each other, and that's just one of the worst decisions that's ever been made in DC. Period. It just completely changes the relationship of Batgirl, Batman, and Jim, and it's like, what are we doing? Like, what exactly is going on right now? Like, just a baffling movie.
There was another one, Gotham by Gaslight. The graphic novel was way better than the cartoon movie as well, which was unfortunate because some of these are like the graphic novels. The Batman ones are so good, and then I look forward to seeing them portrayed on so you can kick back and watch them in cartoon form because I'm not going to do all of them in natural with real people. So I so look forward to seeing some of them. Some of them let me down, but for the most part, DC's really good with their cartoons, especially adapting them from the comic book segments, which Marvel's had a little bit of trouble doing. But so if we move to the movies now, the first this is funny too because the first DC movie was in 1942, and it was The Adventures of Captain Marvel, which wasn't a Marvel character. It was a DC character. But this is Shazam I'm talking about, right? And there it is right there, black and white. Let me just click this off my screen. Perfect. There we go. Yeah. And there he is. There's Shazam right there. So that was in 1942. So that was the first DC movie.
Captain Marvel, then, 10 cents. 10 cents. Look at that. October 27th.
Yeah, that's awesome, huh?
Yeah.
That's how much Action Comics was, too. It was 10 cents. And the Spider-Man one was 12 cents. Holy, 2 cents more for the Spider-Man one, right? So anyway, so there's and then Captain America came 2 years later in 1944. So that's when we started to have all our movies from our competition here with each other, right? And of course, we've got Endgame's one of the biggest producing movies of all time. And it was funny because I was looking at the number wrong when I was chatting with Brent earlier. What did we say it was good? It was like 200. How much? What was the number, Brent?
It was like 300 billion or whatever it was. What was it? 33. You said 300 million, but it wasn't. It was like 300. Like
it was like 3 billion. Almost 3 billion. They're at. Yeah.
Insane. Look at that, Captain.
That is nuts. That's crazy. So out of the top 10, the only one that's closest of DC to number 1 comes in at number 9, and it's Aquaman. Strangely enough, I didn't think it would be Aquaman, but it was Aquaman that came in. Which
disappoints me. Which disappoints me, I must say. But anyways, I think it's the times that we're in. So
yeah, the Batman, the Dark Knight one with Heath Ledger's the Joker's phenomenal. That's just such a great movie. So here's my one thing, because now that we're talking about the movie, Scott, is my biggest problem with a lot of the DC stuff is they seem like they don't. It's almost like the X-Men movies. They don't want to commit to a continuity or a certain universe that's going on, like to see what happened with Zack Snyder's movie. And in my opinion, the black and white, or not the black and white, but the Snyder cut is phenomenal. I thought it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. But my personal view on DC movie is that they just can't get the continuity right. And it looked like they were just about to here with all of the shoot off movies. I don't know what's going to happen now. So what's your view on the movies there, Scott? What are you saying, pal?
So, I think you just spoke on it right there. Part of what made Christopher Nolan's trilogy work is because he was able to tell a full story. Batman Begins is just like the title explains. It's where he begins. You see him go from Bruce Wayne to becoming Batman. You get the full story, and you wouldn't be able to get that. And then the Joker, and then the story with Bane. You wouldn't be able to get all of that in one movie. You need time to do that. So that's a trilogy. And that's why that was able to work. He was able to tell a story and lay this out. And if they would overreact to Zack Snyder's movie, not Man of Steel, but Batman vs Superman, the overreaction right there. I think if you let him continue his universe, like you said, the Snyder cut worked out really well. I mean, he had time to think about it. Let's give him that. But he knocked it out the park. So what can you say? And I think if you let him build his world like he was going to, you can obviously make changes on the way, but to completely scrap the world and just start over, it was just such an overreaction there was only so much you could do with a mungled up world like that. You know, when you pretty much take everything and say, we can't do that. We got to completely start from the bottom. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head. You have to let these universes and worlds build by telling good self-contained stories, but let it be a part of a bigger world, and don't be afraid of embracing that comic book side.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What about you, Brent?
Yeah, I'm frustrated as hell because I really thought I liked Man of Steel. You know, people took shit on it, but I thought they did Man of Steel. I liked Henry Cavill. I think he's fine. I liked everyone that they cast. Russell Crowe, everyone. Kevin Costner's dad. I'm like, all right, if you're gonna start again and kind of reintroduce people to this DC world. I guess the issue was at that time with Christian Bale deciding not to continue on and then kind of going in a different way. They needed a new Batman, and obviously the hit back on Ben Affleck and all the rest of it. I really didn't care. I was, again, in continuity. I'm like, let's make it happen together. And it's just so frustrating when you see like how well like the Mandalorian came together and how much rope they were given to work within the Star Wars universe, and Marvel, how much rope they're able to work within that universe and shape and DC. And we had, Ken Lashley on before, and he was talking about the difference between the two boardrooms when you're planning out a movie is like the Marvel guys are like swinging off the fucking rafters and it's a giant party. And the DC guys are like, hey, wait a minute. We can't, Superman, it must be blue and red. And that's what, and it was just like a totally different thing. And it's so frustrating because Man of Steel, I thought was a great start. And I thought, yeah, sure. They're behind Marvel a bit. But they're behind Marvel a bit, but they're playing catch up. And if they do it right, it can coincide, but they messed it all up. I'm very frustrated. So
the X-Men do the same. The X-Men did the same thing. They're going to fix all that shortly with the X-Men, though. That's coming. Hopefully, it started all with the Scarlet Witch type deal. But the continuity with the a lot of the DC films, but it looked like Zack Snyder was going to fix all that because it looked like he had this a futuristic movie coming in. It looked like he had a new Batman movie coming in. It looked like he had a solo Flash movie coming in.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It was frustrating.
Good.
Yeah.
So have you seen the Snyder cut yet?
I don't have Curve or Crave. I haven't been able to watch it yet. So, what about you, Scott? You see it? Can you hear us?
I don't think he can hear us at this time. I'm getting a. I'd have a hell of a delay going through mine right now too.
How about that? It's all good. How about now, Scott? Can you
Checking
hear that?
1, 2.
Yeah, we're good.
Can you hear me?
I got you, bud. So we're asking about. Yeah, we're asking about the
Schneider cut, man. The
Schneider cut. Yeah. Did you like the Schneider cut?
Oh, I lost him again.
The wonders of the internet.
Did you lose me? I'm still here.
Yeah. Oh, you're still there? Okay. So the Schneider cut, Scott. What are some of the things that you liked about it opposed to the original cut?
I like that they actually gave. I mean, it's going to sound, like everybody else, but Cyborg being the heart was a big part of it. I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like that I was kind of hoping would have been explained or fleshed out a little bit more was Martian Manhunter. I don't think the reason that he just sat around and did nothing all this time was really talked about or even touched on enough. I feel like that's something that deserved an explanation for someone being as powerful as he is. He's arguably, outside of Superman and probably Wonder Woman, he's the most powerful one. I mean, he's got incredible abilities. Even Superman says he would give him problems. So I needed an explanation there. But as far as things I liked over what we got in Justice League was the Flash. I enjoyed him having this realization of how powerful he is, but how dangerous it is at the same time. That's very important for somebody like Barry Allen, who is he's pretty much a genius in the DC world. And for him to be able to put that together, and you see he's got a good grasp on his speed force, because he's done it before. He said he would promise he would never do it again. And that's a key phrase in there. So I really like that the characters that were made out to be jokes, afterthoughts, I'm glad that they were given more of a story. And obviously Darkseid, that's a big part of it. But even Steppenwolf, you kind of understood why he had this magnitude of why it was so important for him to do it. And he kind of looked a little bit more deadly until Superman came through and the black suit looked good. I was kind of hoping that was Supergirl in the hologram instead of Superman. I think that would have been a cool little touch. Nobody would have saw it coming, but real good. The nightmare sequence is what left me most excited, and that is kind of what made me most upset, because we can't get anything out of it. It's just you left me with all that, and it looks so good, and like there's so many stories that could branch off from it, and we can't do anything with it because it's done. So it kind of made me mad, and it was my favorite part. That's such an oxymoron.
Mm-hmm. I thought one thing I thought was cool. You know how at the end there they were showing the Batman and the future Joker getting along? I thought that looked too young to be the normal Joker. I think that's Jason Todd, because that like the Batman looks really, really old. The Joker should be aging along with him. Doesn't seem like he is. He seemed a little younger. I think that was Jason Todd. I think there's if not, wow, what a great story that could have spun into. So I'm with you on that, man. It's like that looked like such a great story that could have come out of that. So I do. I buy way more Marvel comics than DC comics, but I buy a lot of comics. So, but I loved the Snyder cut, and I loved what he did with Wonder Woman as well. Made her so badass, and I think it was Steppenwolf that had the chain armor that would kind of breathe almost. Wow, like some of the effects in that were fantastic. The fact that he didn't get maybe 2 movies out of those, well, because he could have split that in half and had something really cool there. It's pretty sad. The way that went, but I did enjoy watching it here at home while I was drawing in my office. I thought that was great, to take it all in that way. And
I guess I don't need to watch it now. You guys just broke it down for me, so it's fine.
Well, you're way behind me, man. You only
I'm
get
so behind. I'm so behind. I gotta get the.
You only get a little bit of grace period, and then you're on your own. I know. Man. You're on your own after that. Yeah. So going through all that, especially when you got a pod that. Is there, you know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. So when I define I'm never one of those guys that's like, you can't like Marvel comics and like DC comics, and I hear rumors that I was talking to somebody today, and they were saying that there's rumors that Disney's going to buy up DC comics now, like all those products, man. And you know what it reminds me of though? It reminds me of when Vince McMahon went. What we were with that. That sucked the life out of wrestling, man, when Vince went around and just started douching everybody. So I like having the choice of Marvel and DC and even Dark Horse and Image and Image. I love Image. I want to work for Image one day. But yeah, I love having all these varieties to choose from. Wrestling, I was ECW, and the death of ECW is just that was horrible to me. But see, that's if I like to have the option of all those different things. So I've never been one that picks one or the other. But it's funny, you go through the things here, as far as you go as the classic comics of value, DC's is winning the battle because they got the most valuable comic, and they also are selling their Detective Comics is the highest selling new comic. So they've got them there with comic books technically right now. But if you look at how many titles are selling in the top 10, you'd probably get more Marvel ones in there, right? And the same thing, if you look for the value, if you look at the value of the difference between the two, like 3.25 million for the Action Comics #1 compared to 1.1 million, holy smokes. But if you did the top 10, there'd be more Marvel in there. And then if you go to the movies though, then we switch it around again, because then Marvel has the edge on DC. But it's funny because all Marvel's done is really just religiously said, here is the Infinity Gauntlet story. No, we can't use Silver Surfer. No, we can't use the Fantastic Four. And the X-Men's not going to be in there. But look what we can do with this movie. And they did it. And it was amazing. And it shot off all these other movies that tied in to this final against Thanos. And you're only as good as your villain, as I mentioned too, which is another, I thought Thanos was fantastic. I hope Marvel brings in Galactus or somebody here next, like a proper Galactus. But going to DC, that's like a Batman movie, man. You get the right people in there and you're going to hit gold because of his rogues gallery, man. Their villains are fantastic in the Batman. Do you have Scott? Do you have a favorite villain that should be brought up that isn't like the Riddler like, you know, the Joker or you know, somebody, is there a lower level villain that DC could bring up that we would all love, but we just don't know it yet?
So a villain that I've been very high on, and probably when I was first introduced to Nightwing, like I said, as a child, she was actually the main villain in this comic, and that's Lady Shiva. I think you could bring her in as somebody coming in who has heard about this Batman who's supposedly the best fighter in the world, because Lady Shiva's whole deal is she is the best fighter in the world, and she will go fight whoever, you know, stakes claim to that, or if there's anybody even in the rumors of that. Because in that comic, she was fighting Connor Hawke at the time, who was Green Arrow at the time. So I think you could easily bring her in, and then you don't have to kill her. You don't have to arrest her, but she can get away. And, you know, she's somebody you could bring back later on. I mean, she's a character that you can just have appear throughout different movies just for various reasons. Just because she's heard that you are one of the best fighters in the world, I'm here to test you. I think even if she's not your main villain, she's somebody who would be fantastic to bring in as a side villain, or kind of as a character who kind of helps Bruce Wayne take it to that next level as far as his martial arts goes. Because as far as the hands, I mean, she's the best in the world. She's the best hand-to-hand fighter in DC. So she's somebody who could easily be elevated, and I think people would latch on to her very quickly.
Nice. So where would you bring her in? Like if you could pick her to come in like a Flash movie or a Justice League or Batman or a Nightwing movie, or where would you bring her in?
Man, I would do a Green Arrow movie, and I would actually have Connor Hawke be taking the mantle. Very similar to the story, because Connor Hawke is one of the top 5. It might even be top 3 martial artists in DC when he was at his heyday, before the New 52 and all that. So he's a character I think you could also bring in. You can have an older Ollie, an older Dinah Lance, and you can have this younger Connor Hawke, you know, kind of learning the reins, and that'd be an easy way to bring in Lady Shiva without her having to be the main villain. She's just somebody that Connor Hawke kind of has to match and equal just to prove his worth. So if I had it my way, I would bring her in on a Green Arrow movie, an older Ollie, bringing Connor Hawke in, and you could even, if you want to, you know, go for the shock value, you could kill Oliver or Dinah Lance, you know, or Black Canary. So yeah, I'm bringing her in on a Green Arrow movie.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, did you watch the other thing to leading up to it? So what do you think of the dynamics with Damian Wayne in there now, and the way he's, you know, treating everybody around him like Dick Grayson and that kind of thing, like Nightwing? Are you privy to that?
I mean, I've always known he's a dick, and he's the reason he died in Injustice, in the Injustice storyline, by some BS. But what has he done lately that has Dick Grayson up in arms? I'm a Dick Grayson guy, so, you know, this is gonna hurt my heart, I feel like.
No, he's leading the Teen Titans, right? So, and there's like Lobo's daughter's in there now, and it's like this whole crazy team, and he's just he's trying, but you find out he's not, because he's tricking the Titans to do his own kind of. At the beginning of the new Titans series, he's taken all these criminals and he's created this huge jail for them. And he's taken the criminals down with the Teen Titans and say, yeah, they're going to jail there, but he's holding them all hostage. So
that's the Italian,
little Damien, right?
Got the Italian coming out of him.
It's crazy though, right? Yeah, I love it. But I think he's pretty cool dynamic to it. Now, I loved the Teen Titans TV show, man. Like, I thought that was really, really good. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. You talking about the animated one, right?
No. The show Titans. Sorry, Titans. Just Titans.
Oh, Titan. Oh, yeah. Very big fan of Titans. That's the best iteration of Dick Grayson we've ever had live action. So I had
how good was that series, man? So I loved everything about it, especially the second season, man. I thought it was just fantastic. And Dick Grayson, man, the evolution of him and the demons in his noggin, the way they're showing it, I thought the actor was fantastic. What else? Like the way they're heading with Starfire, because I have those issues where she fights her sister and everything. Like, I have those issues, and it really looks like they're sticking close to it, which is fantastic too. And the way Changeling, they're trying to turn him into monster, killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, because Garth's such a nice kid, right? You know what I mean? And Raven, the stuff she was going through. So I'm just spewing out all kinds of cool stuff from that Titans TV show. Scott, what did you like about it, buddy?
Man, I really love Dick Grayson. I thought he was great from the very first episode. I mean, once he put the Robin suit, it was almost like a switch went off and he went black, and he really moved very quickly. Some of my favorite episode from season 2 is, man, it was going to be the Nightwing reveal. You see, I'm a wrestling guy as well, and one of the things you don't do on somebody's big return or somebody when they have a big gimmick change is you don't job them out on their first match. You can't have Nightwing show up with the new suit, the new weapons, looking fly. He's got the new swag to him, and then not beat Deathstroke, or at least have him run off and lose this battle. You can't have this guy get saved by Rose. I did not like that. I was so mad that they took that moment from him. And sometimes you just got to let a man shine. And you've been letting this dude build this up. Like, we've been waiting to see this for 2 seasons. We've been waiting to see this Nightwing suit for 2 seasons. And now we get it. And he takes an L. I wasn't happy about that. But everything else I really enjoyed. It felt like the finales weren't complete. And the season premieres were almost the finales and the season premieres at the same time. They felt like a finale first. I don't know if that's something they did intentionally. But that's kind of the vibe I got from them.
Yeah, at the beginning of season 2, you almost forgot all the details that happened at the end of season 1 with Raven and her dad and everything getting all crazy in that little cabin there and whatnot, right? And I remember when it kicked in, I was like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on? Oh yeah, like Robin's, they're all being controlled by him, and yeah, that was weird that I forgot that they did that. I love Crypto. How cool was Crypto? And I did not think they were going to have Crypto in there. Did you?
No, I didn't see that coming, and it's always good to have a great K9 by your side, and he's going to be fantastic. And Superboy was good. I sound like I'm not liking the show, but didn't like what they did with Wonder. It didn't like what they did with Wonder Girl. Like the way you kind of, she shouldn't. I mean, that was a weak way for her to go, but. I have a feeling her and Raven will be doing some magical voodoo, and we'll be seeing her again. But really enjoyed the show. I really liked Hawk and Dove. I thought they were both very well cast. They fit the mold. They fit kind of the description. The body language was there. Jason Todd was actually really good. I was worried he was going to be too much of a dickhead, but he actually turned out to be just the right amount of a dickhead. So casting's been spot on.
I agree with you. His screen time, man, like every time Jason Todd was on the screen, he exuded Jason Todd. It was great. I love when he's standing at the window and he's seeing the floors go by. And he's such a badass though too, right? That he's trying to act like he doesn't give a shit and doesn't hurt his feelings, whatever. But really, he's just like, just great. I love I love characters with layers. You should hear me rip apart some actors on some of the shows we do, Scott. You'd get a real kick out of it. I'm pretty bad, dude. Like, yeah, I get the teeth out. But I thought that the acting in Titans is really good. Really, right? I thought Jason Todd, whoever's doing the casting on that, excuse me, is like nailed it. And Dove, that actress, I've seen her do other things, and it's just funny. You get the blonde wig on her, you get her in the costume of Dove, and it's like, wow, who is that? And she doesn't look the same. It's just they picked perfectly for her. And Hawk as well, man. Like actually, Edge could have played him. I thought the wrestler, Adam, but whoever's playing him is doing a fantastic job. So I guess we are getting in season 3 the Red Hood. So we'll get Jason Todd's probably going to get the Joker beat down, and then we're going to get Starfire's sister coming in from the other planet, and I can't remember her name, but. Anyway, they're going to have a big battle.
Gordon will also be coming.
Oh, and Barbara Gordon's coming too. Dude, so this is going to be great. Like, I'm really... What are you looking forward to most, Scott, for the season 3?
I'm actually curious to see if they're even going to do some type of beatdown, or if we're just going to get him being the Red Hood. If he literally just throws on a red hood over top of his Robin costume and he's the Red Hood. Because I don't think it'll be... I'm very curious to see what they do, because I just don't think it'll be the Joker. So I think somebody else is going to get that moment as far as being able to endure the wrath of, I guess it's going to be Dick Grayson, who's going to be the one to come after him and have to decide if he's going to kill or not. Because I can't see them doing this all for Bruce when this whole story has been built around Dick Grayson. And like you said, Starfire and Blackfire are going to have a huge confrontation. So that's coming. So I'm that's going to be a very interesting point to see what and who is going to do that, because whoever does that is going to end up kind of always being in the backdrop of, we got to get this guy too, or girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's exciting because Marvel take liberties here and there with some of their lesser known characters, and they usually pull it off well. Mandalorian, wow, like they're great. Filoni is amazing at taking these lesser known characters and making them so. And I'm a big advocate of that. Instead of creating a brand new character to fit a certain a hole that you're looking for, take someone that's already been created, because there's so many hidden gems there that they could be using. And I'd love to see more of that happening. But yeah, that's good. So are you back with us, Brent? No, he's not really with us there, Scott. So we can't hear Brent. That's all right. So Scott,
I can't hear him either.
That's all right, dude. So I think, Scott, you're my new co-host for the night. And at this point,
I'll try my best.
I'm just kidding with you, bud. So that was awesome, dude. That was awesome. So I guess we're going to move on to the news and stuff right now, but we still can't hear Brent. Brent's using a new program, I think, for this. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to say what he's saying. Hey, look at me. Look at my hands. I wish I could grow my beard longer. I need a new pair of glasses. Oh, ha, ha, ha. That's what he's doing. I want some coffee. He's losing his mind. Yeah, okay, there you go. That's perfect. So any current events going on, Scott, in the pop culture world, comic book world that we should be aware of?
Well, the Eternals kind of full-ish teaser was released, and they told us absolutely nothing. And
I didn't see that yet. Yeah, so tell us about that, because I haven't seen it yet. So I haven't seen it yet. So that's what they're saying.
Really cool. Go ahead.
No, I was talking over you, buddy. Go ahead.
You get a lot of just really cool imagery, and a lot of cool backdrops, and you get to see everyone, and it's kind of like an introduction of, I guess, where the kind of the patriarchy is of the family line, as far as who's in charge, who's not. You kind of see a little bit of that, but they don't really tell you anything except they just watched while all these battles went on. I mean, that's pretty much, you now know that they were just like, because one of the clips or one of the quotes is, I wonder who's going to lead the Avengers now that Steve and Tony are gone.
Right.
So, I mean, that's like, so you guys really know what's going on, and you have done nothing. Like, that's a big question that's got to be answered, and they really told you nothing. So,
wow. And Thanos,
young
Thanos comes from here.
They told you when the timeline.
Right.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, because they tell you nothing in the trailer. They leave you just blank. Like, what? Oh. That's it.
So see, I haven't watched yet, but I did see, like, online a lot of people trashing it, saying that we didn't really learn much and wish I saw more. So when is that coming out, though? That's not coming out for like another year, though, anyway, right?
Yeah, I think that comes out in November. I want to say. I think it comes out at the end of the year, end of 21.
Oh, so they're going to try and get it out this year. Okay, that's cool. See, that's another thing, Scott. I'm always losing track of
21.
Okay, I don't know what the laws are, the rules are right now, or anything for lockdown. I'm always getting so confused. So where are you located?
So I'm in Virginia on the East Coast, and our theaters are pretty much open back up. So when the next big movie comes out, probably Quiet Place 2 will probably be the next one I go see it, because I'm gonna try to go get back into the theaters and whatnot. So I'm over here on the East Coast, where things have kind of opened up a little bit more.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's still hurting here. Well, we're hoping to get back. I'm too close to Toronto. I'm in Kingston, Ontario. But we're I got to get down to my comic book stores, because what I do for therapy is I go to the dollar bins at the downtown store, and I just go through the dollar bins for hours.
You find gems in there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Strange stuff too. Like, I found like a Married with Children #1 comic book. I found some old wrestling comic books in there. I didn't find any Ultimate Warrior ones, but I found some old wrestling ones in there. They were kind of really cartoony and stuff, but I always find great stuff when I'm bargain shop. But I can't do that right now because of the shutdown and everything. But so we also talk about wrestling on here. So are you an old school wrestling fan or new school?
How about now?
I'm more of a new school. I'm in the last 20 years or so.
Oh, okay. And Brent, yeah, we heard you there.
I consider that.
Shit, you can hear me back again.
I don't consider that old school. Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Jesus.
There you go. You're back.
Listen, I love my friends at Blue Microphones, but something is going on with me and this thing. So anyways, I apologize, friends, for all that, but it's okay. You don't need to hear me speak. You got much more.
We controlled
much more qualified people on this thing to talk about DC and Marvel than me, other than the fact that you know that I love DC and that's the way it's going. So
I'd say we get you caught up, but you gotta have to watch the show now.
I'll watch the show. I'll see what you guys talked about. Very nice.
There you go. Okay. Well, Scott, thanks for helping me out there, bud, and co-hosting. That was good, man. Thank you,
Scott. Why don't you tell us what's going on with you? Why don't you tell us what's going on with you, buddy? This is your pod. Take a knee from Marvel. What's Take a Knee? Like, explain the title and I love the logo and everything, but explain what the pod's all about and the network you're on and everything.
So, the whole Take a Knee thing is all about giving respect to Marvel versus DC because it is a never-ending battle. And as long as Marvel keeps putting out great comics, DC's got to keep up in the game as well. So it's just take a knee, take a moment of respect for the never-ending battle of Marvel versus DC. And our podcast is just pretty much, two black nerds coming at it from different perspectives, giving our opinions on things, and just really trying to have conversations and make people think and let people know that there's other ways, other characters that could be talked about. Because if you didn't hear a character on our show, you might hear a character on a show that we mentioned or something like that. And it's all about the knowledge that we try to bring, and even from our listeners who correct us, because sometimes we get things wrong. So we're all about conversation. And this is like platforms like this where you get to interact with different people who all have different perspectives and different opinion on things. It's cool to get different views and to be able to just chop it up with different people. So this is what we do. We love the interaction and the camaraderie. So this is all a part of it. And again, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. This is great.
Oh man, we appreciate you coming on tonight and making the time and co-hosting with Chris as my mic. Yeah. Decided to shit the bed tonight, but anyways, that's regular Scott.
Thanks for coming on, but we'll have to have you back on after season 3 of Titans. We can talk about that, huh, dude?
Oh man, hey, you just let me know when. I will be ready, just like Nightwing is. Except I'm not taking the L. I'm not taking that L. He can't.
Right on, buddy. Right on.
Come back anytime. We got wrestling talk ahead. We got a whole bunch of different stuff coming, dude. So you're welcome back anytime. One last look at the pod there. Sorry, there we go. And there you are. So have a look.
There it is.
Check out that's Take a Knee from Marvel versus DC. That is regular Scott, our guest this week on
Cheers,
the
buddy.
On the Escalator Podcast. Thanks, buddy.
Thank
you. Fun stuff. Except for my complete and utter meltdown of shit that just happened to me here. So yeah, it just was the way it went, but as it goes, I don't know what was going on with the mic. I could hear you guys. I couldn't. Yeah. Sometimes the internet foils us.
That's okay. We're talking about the Titans show there, man. And we both really, really love the Titans show. So that worked out well. So we could just go on about that because we both really dug it. And he knows his stuff, man. He knows his stuff.
Well, that's why we bring in the big guests. You know what I'm saying? We bring in the guys that can go toe to toe with you and have some fun and have some chat because I'm just here. I don't know. I'm just here. So
that's
I'm
okay,
here.
Dude. You're doing great.
I'm here.
The Leaf game, man. The Leafs are winning 3-0 right now. Huh?
Hold on, Chris. You can't talk about that until we do this.
Oh, whoops! I forgot our awesome graphic that my wife did.
There you go.
That's great.
Nerds on Ice. Isn't that sweet? So give us an update on Toronto Maple Leafs, Le Habitant.
Excuse me. Well, it looks like the Leafs are going to go up 3-1. They're winning 3-0 with 11 minutes left in the third period. Montreal's on a power play, but it doesn't seem to matter because the Leafs are dominating. Yeah, even though Montreal's out shooting them, but from what I've been watching, man, it hasn't really been that close of a game. Really, I thought Toronto's really been taking it to them, and they're without some players too. So, like, they're obviously missing Johnny T, which was horrible. That was just crappy.
The worst.
And it's, you see, like, here's what I don't get about it. Sorry, cat hair. Here's what I don't get about hockey fans. Go to Sportsnet and find any Leaf article or Montreal article and go to the people talking underneath it. Wow. If 80% of them are not like 13 and under, I'm really shocked, because you guys are nuts, man. Like, people say that us, comic book nerds are like really immature and whatever. I had one guy telling me, it's funny. One guy put on my TikTok, yeah, you probably live with your mom too in your mom's basement. It's like I own a comic company and a music school. I was going to put a picture of myself in front of my house, but they
don't understand, Chris, that living at home in the basement, in your mom's basement, has benefits. Even though I don't do it, you get the food, you get you got the whole thing. They can piss off.
But I went to his. It's funny because I went to his TikTok, and it looked like he was actually living in his mom's basement. But,
well, I mean, geez, if Twitter's taught us anything or anything, it's just a debate. It's just awful. Awful.
But anyway, so these Montreal fans, right? Like. And some of them are doing did some John Tavares TikTok videos with baby bottles in his mouth and showing him, getting wiped out over and over again. And that's not really very cool to me. I don't think that's great. But just the arguments, what they argue about some of the Habs and Leaf fans is crazy, because I don't remember hearing my students argue about that back when I had tons of them when they were really, really little. It's craziness. Really turns me off.
It's never going to end.
Hockey. No, I know, but it's odd, huh?
It's just weird, because everyone speaks the same. You ever asked a hockey player what his favorite band is? Right. Unless it's like Cam Jansen or someone that actually can speak words, most of them are like, "Well, it's whatever's in the dressing room, man." Oh yeah, what's in the dressing room? Oh yeah, they got them hip. We like that Sam Roberts. I like some good AC/DC. Yeah, like what songs from AC/DC? Oh man, that Shook Me All Night Long song. I'm like, right.
Probably like Thunderstruck.
What's that Thunderstruck song? Yeah, I like that one too. It's like personality school. Let's go there first. Anyways, that's Nerds on Ice. 3-0. We still like hockey, so everyone can piss off. If you want to make fun of us, go ahead. But we still love all the hockey.
Well, it's all right, news. Chat. If you go to the chat things, man, that's messed up. Yeah. So
news of the week. You got this. You got some news.
Well, I got news. My comic book's here. You can buy it on Etsy right now. Go to Etsy. Put in Machete Comics. You can buy my comic book. You can.
That one
right now.
Look at that. That's the first. For sale. That's for sale right there.
There's only 100 copies available, and we're going to only do 100 copies of the first, second, and third issue. When we hit issue 4, we're going to jack it up to, I don't know, maybe 500. I'm not sure. And then it's going to have more prints as we go along. I may go back and do a second printing. Not right now though. So this is 100 copies, man. So this is great, and it's the first comic for my company. It's going to go far. I'm going to try and sell it to maybe Image Comics or another company once I get past 12 issues, or a TV show. I'm going to try and sell it anyway. So this comic will be worth something. You go to Etsy, put in Machete Comics. You can buy our comic. I only have 10 up there right now. We'll see how quickly those ones go. But I've just sold a bunch from my house here as well. They're going to go quick. I'm excited.
Selling them out of the garage.
Yeah, I could. It's funny because I went to the cannabis store today where my daughter works. And one of the guys there I know, and he bought 2 comic books off me. It's like
amazing.
Right on, man. Right on.
Go fast. It's like putting records out. It's like putting albums out, and people come and buy them. It's awesome.
It is. It's great. And there's a big ad for Kids on the Escalator in the back. But the quality of the comic book is sensational, man. Like I'm super stoked and proud. Issue 1 is available now, and I've been contracted to be the artist for the novel Crucible, which is it's Harry Potter-ish. If I was going to compare it to anything. And it's a novel that's already established. It's already established to have more coming. And I'm doing the first graphic novel for it. It's official. I'm doing it. I'm stoked. I got the script around here. I was going to have the script and I was going to give more info, but I forgot the script. It's upstairs. But anyway, I got it. So Machete Comics is doing the graphics for the Crucible graphic novel, bringing the novel to life. And issue number 1 of Skeletron is available. And we're going to start getting issue 2 ready. As soon as we turn these ones over, we'll get issue 2 out there. Another 100 copies. And as I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but you can buy it on Etsy right now.
You can. You did mention that. It's
$5 plus shipping, so you're probably looking at $7.
$7, people. $7.
But check this out, dude. One thing I used to love about getting Kiss albums when I was younger is you'd get like the Love Gun in there, the cardboard Love Gun, some stickers, maybe a little graphic or a postcard. Well, make sure you check inside your comic, folks, because I'm going to put some cool little goodies in there as well. Because you got to get rewarded, especially issue 1 of a comic company. This is like Action Comics number 1. or like,
wrap that shit up, put it away.
What it is.
Save it.
Yeah.
Save it.
So news in my world is that I'm really busy with the comic companies really taking off. I'm teaching very, very little, pretty much all about the comic company. So yeah, it's been a year since I started the comic company, and now it looks like it took me a year to get it off the ground.
Well, congrats, brother, because that's
thanks, dude.
That's like, you remember what it was like when we made our first the first recordings, and we had Mike Bryant on before, and when Machete did their first like album, and or the first like demos that we did, and it was such a fun like oh man, and just everyone would listen to it, or we'd let everyone listen to it, and then we saved up a little bit more money, and then we went in and recorded an actual CD. So there's nothing better than that feeling of something that you've been working on, something you've dreamt about, you put it out to the world. We get it now. We get the Machete kids that come out of nowhere and kind of go, oh, I love this record. I love that record. We touched on it a couple of weeks ago with the Machete, 25-year thing, but it still impacts people. It still does everything. And that was, 1996. So your comic now comes out. Who knows who's going to be part of that first issue, who's going to be part of that first everything. It's a historic kind of moment of a first. There's not too many firsts, right? Like you're going to put out another one, you'll put out another one, and then another one, but there's only one. So
there is, and the other cool thing is today it looks like for the foreseeable, like like I don't know, for a long, long time now, I'm going to be drawing, so it's good.
That's a way. That's what you wanted to do, man.
Yeah, I'll still teach a little bit here and there, so don't worry, kids and adults who want to learn some stuff. I'm still going to teach it, but yeah.
So we're running a little light tonight. Obviously, I ran into some techs or whatever, but we're going to be bumping up against the playoff pricks on the Blundell Network. So they're going to be going live here if they're not already in the next 5 minutes. And
I hope there's no Montreal Canadiens fans on there because they're going to be crying.
That's right. So we're going to keep this to an hour tonight. So a couple things that we have to do. So this was fun talking about Adventures of Captain Marvel being the first movie that came out, Captain America, the first movie that came out. Obviously, we covered off our Marvel. Well, you covered off Marvel and DC as I shit the bed and fell out of it.
And I went back over everything, who's winning in the battles and stuff there. It's all good.
If you can find this, pick it up. If you got a couple million, if you find this and you got a couple million, pick it up. If you can find this and you got a couple million, pick it up, go for it, and do all that. Huge thanks to our guest this week, the regular Scott from Take a Knee from Marvel versus DC.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
Yeah. Awesome. Always great to have new people, new faces into the mix and bring them in to sort of pick their brain about some stuff. Before we get out of here, we've got a couple things we got to do. So we got to thank our friends at Blue Microphone.
There they are.
Sorry, let me go here. Thank our friends at Blue Microphones. There they are, right there. That for 98% of the time worked, but today didn't work for me. They sponsor all of us. They sponsor all the things that we do and all the things that I do and all the things that you do. So we got to thank them for that. We're going to run a little promo for them right now.
Okay.
The magic. I tell you, thanks, Lonnie, for putting that together. That was awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say, who made that, Lonnie? That was
very
great.
Cool. And I can tell you that our friends at Blue Microphone, Joel at Blue Microphone, is very happy with that. So thank you, Joel, for that. For all the support, sending us this stuff. Unfortunately, my Mixify stopped working today, so I'm on a different headphone.
Mine works fine.
You're fine. Next week, all kiss all the time. Kiss. We are talking Kiss next week. Man, that show could be 3 hours, but we're going to talk Kiss next Tuesday. We're going to get some people involved in that. Kiss fans that
Kiss Army.
we all know, and Kiss Army everywhere. So be sure to tune in next Tuesday for that on the Dean Blundell Network and everyone. It is looking like the Leafs are going to wrap this up.
I like it.
So make sure you stick around on the Dean Blundell Network and check out Playoff Pricks. It's coming up right now if it's not already live.
Yeah.
Where they're breaking down.
Fans, sorry about your luck.
You're coming on the show, aren't you? Aren't you going on the show?
What show?
On Playoff Pricks?
I'm going to have dinner now.
No, I'm not talking about tonight. Don't they want you to come on the show? They want you to come on the show.
Yeah. At some point I will. Yep, definitely.
Yeah. And I think I got to do it on Wednesday, I think. But I'm going to go crash it right now. I'm going to Nerds on Ice it and crash it.
Do it.
Go eat some food, my man. That is
to.
Kids on the Escalator for a Tuesday night. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this quick one tonight. Just 56 minutes. And we'll see y'all next week for Kiss Day. We're going to bring them all out and talk a lot of Kiss.
Stoked.
Yeah, that's it for tonight. Thanks, friends.
Good times.
Rad dudes.